4,500 special guests we're expecting, Govan. Who's going to be among them?
Well, we know for sure that some of the presidents of the SADC countries will be among them. They have all been invited by the presidency, and today the president of Tanzania actually arrived. He was one of the first to be welcomed at the Waterkloof Air Force Base in Pretoria. So they're going all out. The police minister, Bheki Cele, said they're expecting 40 heads of state. It's a large number. We don't know how many of them have confirmed, but at this stage they're still keeping the figure of invited guests at around between 2,000 and 4,500. So we'll get more clarity on who these presidents are that will be attending the inauguration of President Cyril Ramaphosa. But obviously very significant that he has invited all of the SADC presidents as well as representatives from all the economic blocs in the northern part of the continent because, of course, tomorrow is Africa Day. And it seems as if there would be a strong showing of the African continent at the inauguration. Of course, this is a classically African-styled inauguration. In the rest of the continent, this is how inaugurations happen, in stadiums, in front of thousands of members of the public, with the army president on display saluting the commander-in-chief. And for the first time, that's how it's going to happen here.
And just on Africa Day, Govan, this inauguration tomorrow also ties in with the growing calls in various parts of SADC that are troubled. You think of Zimbabwe, for example, and elsewhere outside the region where people are saying South Africa needs to be more vocal. So no doubt President Ramaphosa will be sending quite a strong message to the continent as a whole.
He will, especially with the full battalion of the SANDF present, and him being the first ever president of South Africa to be sworn in with that battalion president. But moreover, in SADC, it'll be the first time that South Africa has an inauguration without former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe. So Emerson Mnangagwa, the president of Zimbabwe, will be present here. We know that he's got a good relationship with President Cyril Ramaphosa, and then of course the president of Lesotho also has a good relationship with the president. But more important here is the fact that such great lengths have been taken to invite these representatives from across the continent, while South Africa is due to take up the position of chairperson of the African Union in 2020. And that will be one of the first continental duties of President Cyril Ramaphosa in his new administration. So it would be a very strong showing for him, and it would certainly strengthen South Africa's position if we had this representativity across the board of African heads of state and some of their senior officials.
Government under pressure to spend less on this ceremony tomorrow. It's given the assurance that this will be a cheaper inauguration.
It has, though it admits that bringing heads of state into the country is one of the most expensive parts of putting on an inauguration. But the most expensive part is setting up all the infrastructure around the union buildings, the marquees and special sections.
Around Loftus.
No, when it used to be at the union buildings, they had to set up the marquees and the special areas for all of the different dignitaries, and also, of course, making sure that the general public would be secure on the southern lawns. This time, they don't have to do any of that at Loftus. That's because this is a facility which has hosted international events. It's also hosted some of the games of the Soccer World Cup in 2010, and that is how the presidency says they've managed to save most of their money. Of course, the target is 120 million rand. That was the bill from the last inauguration. They said that they want to make sure that they stay below that target. If they don't, some political analysts are saying it sends a bad message about President Cyril Ramaphosa's administration, because it, of course, would mean that he has failed to keep one of his first promises coming into government.
Govan Rittles, for now, thank you.